Welcome back everyone, and it's time to go balls deep as always, and in this video we are covering who is Nero again and why is this bird following Asta. Make sure to watch our other Nero video before this one to get a better understanding of what's going on and who he may be. This video will contain major spoilers by the way for anime only watchers, but those of us that are up to date, there is a lot more clues on what Nero is up to and what the truth may be behind him. I think I have a pretty good hunch. So here are two more theories on what's going on with this bird. If you don't watch part 1 or up to date in the manga, I don't really know if this video would make sense, but stick around if you want. We are partnered and sponsored by AnimeRio.com. Go check it out if you want anime clothing like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Black Clover, whatever it may be, and use the discount code ABDSquad to get 10% off. So in part 1 of our theory video on Nero, we covered how it could be a possibility that the first Wizard King is trapped inside a bird due to the side effect of cursed magic or reincarnation, and he also as a human was reincarnated in the bird just like elves were. This would give reason why Nero is trying to help Asta by guiding him and witnessing what he does, and this theory gained even more evidence because in the latest manga chapter, it is proven again that the bird has knowledge of what went down in the massacre, and Nero understands what is going on. He has knowledge. This is because the elves have been reincarnated and need the final stone to complete their plan and be fully restored to their usual selves, right? So the final stone is in Yuno's necklace. Nero reacts to the light coming from Yuno and starts flying as though he knows what's happening, and in the next manga chapter we might see him do something really crazy and reveal more of the backstory on who Yuno really is. If Nero has knowledge of what the final stone does, that means he must have some sort of inside information about the elves and their powers. We know the first Wizard King is one of these people that has the knowledge and what really went down in the massacre, because he was the only human that was at the wedding and it was his sister getting married, and he knew the elves culture. The first Wizard King was one of Lish's best friends towards the end, and his sister Tetia was pregnant with a child. So if Nero is the first Wizard King, it makes sense that he wants to get revenge and stop the true betrayal of elves, since he was framed for doing it. Now we all don't know what actually went down in the massacre and who used the light magic. I have done another analysis video on who it is. It's probably uploaded already on the channel, which deduces everything on who is actually involved, and it's everything with facts. It might actually blow your mind. So make sure to go watch it because I think I figured out the truth. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, please hit the goddamn notification bell and subscribe. Okay, so now that I've explained how the first Wizard King theory just got more evidence, let's talk about the other two theories which also seem plausible. I'm going to try and break this down as easily as possible, but I think manga readers will be able to keep up with me what I'm trying to say. Another theory on Nero is that he is actually retaining Lish's memories and the rest of his personality. We know reincarnation magic is a forbidden spell and therefore has side effects and repercussions to the user that casted it. One of these drawbacks could be that he does not retain his memories or original personality. We know this is a fact since Patoli has stated that Licht is not acting normal and does not have his memories due to either being an artificial body or the side effect of casting reincarnation magic. Licht also proves that he has PTSD and only acts instinctively rather than normal, and he does not talk too much. This may be because he does not have all his memories back, which reside in Nero. Licht and the first Wizard King may be the only people that know the complete truth of what went down in the massacre. Therefore, Licht's true memories being in Nero and wanting to return to his body being revived would mean that he can destroy the true betrayer and people responsible that caused a war, malice and corrupt and all this death between the two races. Licht originally wanted peace. He didn't want any of this. He was like the first Wizard King and shared their ideology. This would also explain why Nero, who has Licht's memories, knows where the magic stones are and is guiding Asta and Yuno. This would also make sense why Nero knows where the anti-magic swords were and helped Asta find them, as well as why he is following Asta. Since Licht was the original owner of the swords and grimoire, Nero witnessed Asta manifest his grimoire, which resides the demon he must have sealed within it, and this is what caused the grimoire become anti-magic as well as his swords. Since Licht is the original owner of the swords and grimoire, it makes sense why he is following Asta, since Asta is the destined child that is part of his plan to uncover the truth and also has the same ideology as Licht to unite the world without racism and prejudice. Asta has said this himself and Nero witnessed it. Licht's memories is stuck in Nero and is following Asta also because he wants to witness the boy that displays all the characteristics and attitude that wants to fix the corrupt world he intended to do with his wife Tetia when they were about to get married and have a child. And he will see that Asta proves what he wanted to have with the first Wizard King believed, that humans and elves can live in peace. If Licht's memories and personality is locked into Nero, it also makes sense why Nero reacts crazily when he sees himself revived and wants Asta to do something about it and pecks at him because he's seeing himself, and Nero cannot communicate properly, so he's just trying his best, right? It also makes sense why Nero starts flying and knows what Yuno must do with the final stone that elves need to do to complete their plan and reincarnation, since Licht is the one that casted the reincarnation spell and knows the inner workings of it. So Nero reacting to it and getting shocked with the beam of light coming out of the stone just tells that the bird knows everything and what's going on with the plan and how these magic stones work. If Licht's memories and personality are also within Nero and need to get back to Licht to complete him, it would mean this is the time for Nero to act and get back to him, and it kinda completes the plot. This is why Nero starts flying and has some sort of connection with Yuno, since Yuno also has elf magic and might be his son. When Nero met the Witch Queen recognized the bird and said, This is possible because the Witch Queen is hundreds of years old and was alive during the massacre. However, it is evident that she doesn't know the complete whole truth. No one really does. Watch my other video about the massacre. But the Witch Queen explains that Licht was the one who summoned the demon god. Only after she explains her version of the massacre story is when Nero comes to her and sits on the top of her shoulder and does like a weird face, funny kind of face. And if Licht's memories are in Nero, he must have wanted to interact with the Witch Queen because he was kind of trying to insinuate that, what are you trying to say? This isn't the truth. And he wanted the Queen to react and know what's going on, and then the Queen did react. As for the magic stones, I believe Nero can sense the elf power residing in them due to Licht being locked in him. For example, in the town where Asta and Noel had their first mission, he was the only one to find the stone. Same with the underwater temple, he found the magic stone before anyone else could. And with the Witch Queen, the only people who knew that she had the magic stone was the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Now that leads me into how did Nero get some of Licht's memories, right? So I've been thinking somehow, someway right before the first Wizard King killed the demon god, Licht performed one last forbidden magic to transfer his mind or partially his soul and personality into something nearby, and that just happened to be Nero. And this is what transformed Nero's appearance into something different from the other anti-birds. And to be quite fair, everything I have stated so far actually can be worded differently. If you can just say the first Wizard King instead of Licht, and this theory would still make sense. So either way, Nero may be the first Wizard King, or he has Licht's memories, or he's definitely linked with the demon one way or another. It's the only way that the story and plot that Tabata has created can make sense. By the way, I've been thinking about this theory for a while, but thanks to Cosmic Storm on Reddit, aka Jerome from Twitter, for helping me with this theory. He messaged me and enjoys my videos, so shout out to him for having such great points and helping me out with this video. If you guys want to help me in the future, don't be afraid to contact me on social media like Twitter or Instagram. Okay, now let's get to the next theory of Nero being an anti-magic spirit. This is also another popular theory out there that people have informed me about, and in my last Nero video, it's actually the top comment, so shout out to Just Sean here for bringing it to my attention. So this theory seems to be popular because it's a great idea to think that Nero is an anti-magic spirit. So the theory that Nero is an anti-magic spirit stems from the idea that there are other spirits out there that exist, such as the salamander and the wind girl that Yuno has, so why can't there be something for anti-magic? So since Asta is the first person to have no mana and wields anti-magic, this is why everyone doesn't know what Nero is and that he's an actual spirit, because this is the first time the spirit has manifested. So when Tabata, the creator of Black Clover, decides to reveal that Nero may be an anti-spirit powers, You know, it could be a plot device which will obviously make Asta get a power up and win against his opponent by gaining new abilities. So Nero being an anti-magic spirit will allow Asta to keep up with Yuno too, who also seems to be OP now and is an elf with immense mana. The concept of Nero itself is an open-ended question at the moment, to be honest, and that's what makes it all too great. Tabata has left it open for speculation, so he himself as a writer can do whatever he wants with this plot device. Now, I was sent a summary by one of you guys on Twitter, and it's a Reddit thread, and shout out to this guy. But to read it all out loud, Nero is Asta's spirit for the 5-leaf clover. Nero knew where the other anti-magic sword was, as well as helps Asta find other magic items and such. And in the latest chapter, Asta has a bull horn on his headband from transforming, and Nero is the only anti-magic bird with bull horns. It's all actually very obvious when you think about it, but not only that, Nero was in Hage where the 5-leaf clover was. He was probably waiting for someone to manifest the grimoire since it's such a rare book. This is going to be a big official reveal in the manga, so you guys should hop onto this theory. This guy's very confident. And what kind of anti-magic abilities could Nero do? Well, Yuno's spirit could stop time and enhance Yuno's wind abilities, obviously, so Nero will enhance anti-magic. What else? So yeah, that's about it. That's the whole theory. You can have your own opinion and decide what you guys think. And if you want to talk to me, follow me on Instagram or Twitter and let me know your theories or comments. And keep up to date with me by subscribing and you know, hit the notification bell, because we will be doing more Black Clover videos in the future. Anyway, thanks guys. See you next time.